Welcome! In this session, we will link labels and buttons. So we will learn how to link different widgets. So first of all, for that, what we will be doing here is we will make a label and a button, and on click of that button, we will change the text of label. So first of all, I will go ahead and make a label here. I will catch the object in this variable named label, and I will now write label class. This is the widget. I will pass it the root window where it will display, and then usually what we have been doing so far is we have been changing text like this. So what we are doing, we are hard coding text here. That is, when the label will display, it will show this text there. So now, when we want to change its text on a button click, then we cannot do it like this. So what we will be doing here, we will be using a text variable instead here. There is another argument named text variable like this, and we will not set it directly to a hard-coded text. Instead, we will be using a variable here, and what I will say, I will name this variable label text, as it will be holding the text of the label, and I will make it equal to string variable class. As you can see, we have this class string variable. It is a very useful class. It provides us some good functions that we can use. Now when we will move ahead, you can see those functions. So what I will do, I will use the function of now this is the object of this class string variable, and this variable I can set the text of this label. I can write label text is equal dot set. I'm using this function set of this class string variable, and here I can provide whatever text I want there to be. So I will say label, for instance. That is, our label will be saying label here, and here in text variable I will make it equal to label text, the variable which we have just made. So now this is the variable text and it can be changed. And then what we usually do is we call the pack function to put it on the root window. But in this case, when we are getting the object of this label here, this is not a good thing here, that calling dot pack on the same line. Why? Because we have to use this object now. Previously we were not using this object, so there was we actually did it like this dot pack. So now when we do dot pack on a same line, it will make this object to none. Because this label has to return us a object, it will return, but when we call dot pack, it also returns null. So it will make this object to none here. I will show you in a while that why we are doing this on a separate line. So I will do the same thing on a separate line. I will write label dot pack. Now I'm not assigning it there. As previously we were assigning it there, now we are not assigning it, so the return type of this will be ignored, but it will be still on the screen. So I will just run it and we will see this. As you can see, our label is there on the window. So now let's go ahead and make a button here. So I will say button, this is a widget name, and I will say go in the root window. I'm not getting the return type of button here because we do not require the object. We do not have to do anything on that object. So button in the root window, and then we will set the text of this button, which will be equal to, let's say, click, and this button is clickable, and then we will set a command here so that when it is clicked, a particular function is called. And what we can set command to, we can make a function here. I will name it on button click, because this will be the function that will be called on button click. Currently it shows an error because this function is not yet there, so I will go here and make this function. So we have a function. Now in the body of this function, we will simply change the text of our label text variable. As we know, when we change this variable text, it will reflect on our label. Why? Because we have set the text variable property here. So now whenever this variable label text value is changed, the change will be reflected on our label. So value will be automatically changed. So what I will do here is I will write label text, which is our variable, and then set function, and I will set the text to whatever I want here. So let's say we will set it to text changed on button click, so that we can see that it is done after a button click. So initially the text of our label will be label, and then it will be text change on button click when we click the button. Only there is one thing left, that we need to call the pack here. So I am calling pack on the same line because we are not getting the object of this button, because we do not require that. So this is it. Now let's run it and try this. As you can see on our window, there is a label and a button named click. So now I'm going to click this button here. As you can see, when I clicked the button, the text changed on the label. Text changed on button click. So it says this. And now this thing is working fine, that on button click we are changing the text of our label. Now let's do some modifications here. I can also change the color of the button. So let's say this button says red. So whenever this button will be clicked, the label will say red and its background color will also change to red. Let's see how it's done. And now in our function here on button click, I will remove this text and add a text here, red. So now whenever this button will be clicked, it will change the text to red, and let's change the background color. So how we can change the background color? This is our label object here with the name label small l. I will write the name here label, and then I will call the function config. By using this function, we can pass these arguments which we were passing before while making the class object. So what I can do here is, while saying config, I will say bg, that stands for background, equal to red. So I can give any colors here in this bracket, red, green, yellow, and the names are same as they are of color. So what I will do now, I will run this and we will see the output. As you can see in the output, our button text has been changed to red and label is still there. Now I'm going to click this button, and as you can see, the label text is changed to red and background color has been changed to red. Now what I will do here, I will make two more buttons, let's say green and blue, that will, according to their names, will change the color and text here. So I will change the name of this function to change to red. So as what I'm changing the name to define as what it is doing, I will make two more functions here like this one, and one more function here. So this one will be changed to green, let's say, and this one changed to blue. As there are three buttons, first one with red, green, and then blue, so the green will change the text to green, and color will also be green, and then blue, name will be blue, and color will be blue. So now we have three functions here and we can bind them to three buttons now. Now let's move here. As you can see, currently we have only one button. So what I will do here is I will copy this two more times here. And now we have three buttons. The first one will say red, the second one green, and the third one blue. So when we click on this button, it changed to red and then the text of the label and color. Now we have to send the command as well. So what I will do here is, first of all, I will change this to red. So the first button red, its callback command will be changed to red, and then this one will be changed to, as you can see, IntelliSense is telling us about these functions. But you have to take care, like when you click it from IntelliSense, as you can see, it added the round brackets here as well. But we don't have to pass round brackets when we are calling it in a command parameter command argument. So what I will do, I will remove these round brackets. So make sure that you remove these brackets if you are getting it through IntelliSense. And here I will change to blue. So again I will remove the round brackets here. So these round brackets which I remove here are only not required in this command function. Otherwise, when we are calling the functions in our Python language, we add them there. But they are not there in this button widget when we are doing so. So if we want to pass some arguments to this function, then we will be using lambda there, and we will discuss it in our later sessions. So for now, what we are doing here is we have three buttons and they have callbacks, different callbacks, three functions attached to them. Now what I will do, I will run this here and we will see the output. As you can see in the output, there is a label and we have three buttons here, red, green and blue. Let's click red. As you can see, on the click of red button, the background of the label has changed to red and the text says red. And on green click, color has changed to green and the text to green. And on blue, it's changed to blue. So I will press red again. And now we have three buttons with different functionality there. So we have successfully connected label and buttons. So this is very often required that we need to connect buttons and labels and different widgets there. So when we will move forward, we will be linking up different widgets as well. So that's all from this session.